Okay.
Cool. Hey, well, some more people are joining us still. I'll start presenting a little bit before I give the word to Carlos, who's going to introduce us to iNaturalist. So welcome everybody that's still joining in. Welcome from all around the world. There was a session already about 12 hours earlier, so possibly half of the people that are joining the session, and there's by now roughly 70 bioblitzes registered, which is pretty exciting. So it's really a cool happening all around the world, and pretty distributed as well. A lot in Chile, I must say. I think it's got something to do with Jens being from Chile. But it's really cool to see it being picked up in very different places, which simply shows that the love for river is really something universal and connects us all and motivates us all to get together. I'm gonna quickly share my screen and start this presentation here with the beautiful illustration by Maura, who's been with us for the third time now. So indeed, the Home River Bioblitz 2022, it's the third edition we have. And we have this training session together with Jens, me, and Carlos, who you'll be hearing later. I'm gonna ask Cher in the meantime to mute herself. I can't seem to do that at the same time. Yeah, everyone, if you can mute yourself in that way, that we don't have too much background noise. But at any moment, if you want to ask a question, feel free to just unmute yourself and ask a question. And so that action comes in. Cool. The Home River Bioblitz 2022. Today in this session, I want to tell you a bit about the history of this Home River Bioblitz, and give you a bit of a diversity of Home River Bioblitzes that have been happening. A few words from other people that also organize a Bioblitz and their motivation behind it. I'll give a quick introduction to the team so that you know who is actually helping out and that you have a bit of faces behind everybody's potentially writing you those weeks. I'll give a bit of an overview of those workshops so that you know what we actually prepared for you. And then we'll dive into the iNaturalist training with Carlos, which is a bit of a technical training to actually help you use iNaturalist in the Bioblitz and make it work best for you. And then if Enya is still around at that moment, we'll have a bit of a social media introduction by her, what she's planning and what you could potentially do for your own Bioblitzes to spread out a bit over social media. So 2 years back, which was the 20th of September 2019, as you can remember, that was in the midst of the pandemic. There was it was hard for everyone to get out, to connect to people globally. It was, let me quickly prepare 1 second, make Carlos co-host. It was hard to connect. Like we were limited to our very close surroundings. Some people had to really stay inside. And at that moment, we were organizing a summer school in Montenegro, was the plan. We was the River Collective. We had been doing a summer school already before. And at that moment, we planned something to come together with people from all around Europe. Obviously, that wasn't possible, but we still wanted to find a way to get people motivated to actually go out to their rivers. And we thought of this idea, okay, let's then ask all participants to go out to their home rivers now. How could we do this? Maybe we can investigate the home rivers. So that was kind of the initial thought of it. And we spread this out through National Geographic explorers, through our own networks, and suddenly this was picked up pretty well. And I think like this first year already became quite inspiring, just seeing people from around the world pick this idea up of sharing this love for rivers, going out to their own home river within the limits of COVID-19 at that moment. So some went out just with their families, some went out with a bigger community, some went out with like maybe 3 people, some could go out with a bigger group. So we left it quite free, and it was super cool to see how people made it work for themselves. No, so this Home River Bioblitz was the first time that people went out to explore the biodiversity of their home rivers. We thought we needed to keep doing this. So last year we had the 2nd edition, which we made a little bigger in the sense of days. The first edition was just 1 day. Last year we thought it's actually cool to make it possible for both schools as well as people that want to go out in the weekend. So we thought to do it from Friday till Sunday, which included also the World Rivers Day. So last year it was possible for more people to join, and that was picked up as well. And then you start to have a bit of a tradition. So this is the 3rd year, and seems like we'll be keeping going, because we constantly throughout the year people start asking us, is this happening again? And then it's hard to say no. So yes is the answer, and we get more excited throughout the year. And so now we're here together for the 3rd edition of the Home River Bioblitz. Another amazing poster by Mauro. He's been I think he's been improving his skills there as well. It's been really cool to see those colorful images coming together. And then I asked Jens to put in a quote here a bit that reflects a bit like what the motivation is behind No, and what the kind of philosophy is behind. Situating nature in a place in contrast to the idea of an abstract nature brings us down to a specific time and space on Earth and increases our awareness of its fragility. Quite some big words. I think it basically comes down to if we see nature as something separate from us, as something far, something big that we need to protect. It's something almost ungraspable, no? So what we try to do with this Home River Bioblitz is actually go out to this nature and be in this place, be situated in the home river that you have, and just really be in touch with it, explore it, enjoy it, and be present, no? And this is an opportunity we have with the Home River Bioblitz to actually get more people along, go to that place and have a fun day out. Another big motivation is actually that we just throughout, I think, all our river conservation work, we see parallel stories happening in different places. Fola, can I maybe ask you to also mute yourself? I should have requested that people come in. Also, Carlos, I made you co-host. You should be able to help me out a bit. I don't seem to be able to do this at the same time. Cool. Hey, parallel stories around the world. There's rivers that people really care about. People see rivers as their ancestors. People see rivers as gods. Like rivers are appreciated all around the world. At the same time, rivers are being destroyed all around the world. Dams are being built. Rivers are being channelized. Rivers are being polluted. And it seems like the amount of rivers that are really healthy and free-flowing are kind of diminishing. And sometimes this reality feels really quite harsh and I think even demotivating. But then there's also people all around the world that celebrate their rivers and that really like show this passion, that want to get together to link to this river and that make change happen, that start breaking dams, that start cleaning rivers, that start putting ways that rivers are being restored in. So you see a lot of positive movement around rivers as well. And that's kind of the one that we want to focus on. And we want, like, it's a good way to get people motivated and connected to rivers. And we think the Home River Bioblitz is a great moment to really share that passion for rivers. So it all comes a bit from this river celebration feeling. To give a bit of a better impression of what this Home River Bioblitz now all is about, some of you know, like many of you actually know, because many of you have already made those first 2 editions to what they were. I'd like to invite you to have a look at this video from last year. I'm going to try playing it, and I hope it works out quite well. It's the stories of the participants of the Home River Bioblitz 2021.
It's not sharing, you're not sharing with audio, Vera. You have to stop sharing screen and share again. And your mic is off.
I have to stop sharing screen.
Yeah, and now you share with audio.
Oh gosh. Okay. I can do this. Screen. Share sound. Cool.
The Home River Bioblitz is a worldwide citizen science project that aims to collect a snapshot of biodiversity in and around rivers. This is the 2nd year we do this event. During this weekend, in more than 40 locations all around the world, people are going out and exploring their home rivers and using the iNaturalist app to document their local biodiversity.
The Home River Bioblitz and the workshops today attracted more than 100 participants.
And these are the 3 reasons why we did a Home River Bioblitz in our local stream called Aguacapan, Jalisco. 1. Connect. Connect between the local community and its local rivers. 2. Learn. Learn about new technologies on how to monitor our river landscape and its biodiversity. And 3. Share. Share through photographs and stories the importance to conserve our rivers.
I organized the Home River Bioblitz at the Moon River. Because it's the main river in our province, many animal and plant fossils were discovered nearby, including a 1,000,000 years old petrified wood, where they all were found and protected as a monument there 100 years ago. So to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Thailand fossil tree conservation and observe other living things, participants can learn about life from the past to the present.
Rivers are very central to our life. Rivers central to our livelihood. Rivers central to biodiversity conservation. Rivers also very beneficial to other flora and fauna diversity.
I learned and I was inspired to see again that people can be really happy and curious about the surrounding landscape and living organisms if they are canoeing along a free-flowing river.
The Moon River is important to me and the local communities, like the meaning of its name, the precious heritage. It is where King Rama VI visited the railway construction crossing the Moon River. Locals found petrified wood and presented to the king. Instead of taking it away, the king suggests conserving this natural heritage in the area.
This community-driven project aims to connect local actors to a global network of river defenders and lovers.
I think the threats to the river in the world are mainly similar, but there are also local variations. Damming is fragmenting our waterways and also changing the river in habitats and functions. Rivers are also often straightened, and this again causes the loss of river functions and valuable habitats, for example, floodplains.
I think human behavior and plastic waste such as bottles and bags are the serious threat to the river in our world. We have seen and collected many of them during our Bioblitz event.
In this context, citizen science becomes a tool to engage people with their local biodiversity, and through identifying the local species and the local wildlife, they understand also the importance of healthy and free-flowing rivers all around the world.
We even have some aquatic fishes around. These are all part of our ecosystem, which we need to take care of. So, as Safe Sahara Network, as an organization, we have gone out today, we brought people out, and they have seen different biological diversity in our environment.
It was a really great success. and it was amazing to see both adults and children reconnecting with our local burn.
Orajoki is important to me, but not more important than all the rivers in Estonia and all the rivers in the world. Like other ecosystems, rivers and their biodiversity are threatened around the world, and we should protect and restore the riverine habitats.
Thank you so much for being here with us today. And I enjoy paddling my canoe as I take my crew back to the base. So enjoy. Thank you.
Okay. We're getting there. Cool. So that was the last year's Home River Bioblitz. And at least to me, it's really inspiring to see all those different motivations, different enthusiasm, different groups all coming to their home rivers and all having a reason to bring a bigger group to their home rivers, right? And I think this is pretty important to reflect on again. We, as the team behind the Home River Bioblitz, so to say, don't really have super specific objectives on, okay, this is the amount of observations you should have. You should focus on this kind of observations. You should really have specific aims of getting as many observations as possible. We really want this event to work for you and what's best for your local river. And I think the most important thing is to bring along this fun and to really have this moment to just share with your friends, with your family, with your local river community. And yeah, we're super excited to see that so many people in the whole world are now taking place. This is just an updated map that I made today, and it's pretty distributed. I think that's super cool. And now the question is if Jürgen is here with us. He was out on a drive and had to do some work as well. Seems like he's not. I asked him to tell us a little bit about what he did last year and what he's planning to do this year for the Home River Bioblitz. And these are two of his photos from last year. You saw him in the video as well. And just to show that like there's many ways to do your own Home River Bioblitz. Even though the focus is on exploring the biodiversity and kind of getting observations in, it's cool to link it to different activities, right? So he's been canoeing with the whole group on his home river. He's been taking like ways to observe under the water as well. This is like kind of plastic thing so you can snorkel without really having to get, it's super cold in Estonia. I think he's from Estonia. I wouldn't want to be in the river at that moment, but this is a super cool way to actually also observe underwater. And this year he's planning to go to the Jenny Yogi. So he's got a place, I think, that's recently renaturalized, so restored. And this is a really cool day that they can go out and to actually explore what's been coming back to life in a place where the river was a bit more restricted a few years ago. Then Dimitri, are you around? This is sad. I asked two people that said they were probably going to be there and they are not. Either way, Dimitri has been organizing bioblitzes now for the third year. He's going to organize one in Greece. And the Aas River is the headwaters of the Vjosa River. Some of you might have heard of the Vjosa because it's pretty big news now in Europe. The government has signed a commitment that they want to make the Vjosa the first European Wild River National Park, which is a big step because a few years ago it was doomed to be dammed. There were quite big plans on big hydropower dams on the river, But there's been a lot of involvement of NGOs, local river activists, and they've really been able to turn it around towards a river that is now becoming a national park. And the Aals is, however, so the Vjosa is the Albanian part of the river, and the Aals is the headwaters in Greece. And there's now lobbying being going on to also include that part of the river into the national park. And Dimitri is taking this as a good moment to actually also shed some light on this part of the river. So using the Home River Bioblitz in this locality to actually raise some awareness for this specific idea to turn the Aals also into a national park. Now we're here together to really kick off this this Bioblitz 2022. So this is starting with an online session, and to get a bit of an idea what's behind it, just wanted to mention that it's being organized by the River Collective, but mostly it's being organized by all of you and all the different organizations, individuals, everyone around the world that's going out in this weekend of the Home River Bioblitz. We get support from NRS, who makes a lot of like whitewater gear. And again, the National Geographic Society is supporting us with a small community grant, which is super exciting. And it also shows a bit the linkage between different National Geographic explorers. It's also been resonating within that group quite well, but super cool to have it wider. So it's a cool way to link up with National Geographic. And of course, the way we've organized it now, it wouldn't be possible without iNaturalist, the application that it makes it really easy for any citizen scientist to actually look at biodiversity, to get some observations, to identify in the field as well, and to actually contribute to science using using your own phone and just being out there. I'd like to take a moment to actually introduce the team, and again, Jens has made this amazing slide with not photos of us, but photos of some cool species. Enya, you'll hear her later a bit. She has been super active on social media lately, so whomever is on Instagram has definitely seen her stories around, her posts, and she'll be the person doing that also during the Home River Bioblitz. So whomever shares their stories, tags us, will definitely hear of Anya. Jens, he's here. Maybe he wants to say quickly hi.
Hi.
Oh, nice. Hi, Jens. He's our cosmic coordinator. He's been there from the start, and he's been motivating people all around the world to join this celebration for rivers. Always got to context the different organizations as well. So definitely a pleasure to work with Jens. Jürgen, he is in Estonia at the moment, and he got involved last year, and he got really excited about the science part of things to actually improve the level of science that we can do with this Home River Bioblitz, together with Jelena, who's the flamingo there in the photo. They'll be organizing a science workshop as well, so it's really cool to see them thinking about this side of things, and quite a bit. I'm the dolphin there, dolphin on the top. Carlos, you'll be hearing of a little later. Carlos, maybe say quickly hi as well. And your face comes through.
Hola, amigos.
Hola. Carlos calling in from Mexico. And we'll have a good introduction from him to iNaturalist. Then who do we have there? Roxanne. Roxanne is going to join the storytelling workshop, and she's going to prepare a good press release for people to use, so that in case you want your own Home River Bioblitz and your own story behind your Home River Bioblitz to get a bit more attention, she's going to help you to get something that you can send out to your local newspapers, to your local media, so that maybe your own home river is going to be in your newspaper. That might help you to reach your own objectives. And we're always open to people that have other ideas, that have extra ideas, that have motivation to make the next year more worthwhile, always open to have a torrent duck or a frog joining us. So if you identify yourself with a torrent duck or a frog, let me know. Just a quick list of the workshops we have lined up, because our DRC team is really to support everyone and to help you guys make the most out of your event, which is indeed a science workshop organized by Jelena and Jürgen. They're going to go into, okay, how do I do observations well so they really count for iNaturalist, but also could I potentially make a bit of a more consistent monitoring idea? And what does like the distribution of the observations that I do really tell me, and what does it link to the health of my river? So they're going to be there on the 8th of September. On the same day, there's going to be an extra introduction to the Home River Bioblitz, similar to this session, done by Carlos and Jens as well. Specifically for the Spanish people, because as you've seen maybe on the chat already, there's quite some of them. So I think this is a really cool extra way to help some people get their bioblitz going. Then on the 12th of September, we have Jens. Maybe you want to say a few words about this session, Jens, the intersectional environmentalism session.
It's going to be a small chat about intersectionality, meaning how environmental movements are also have gender, race, and class issues that are part of the complexity of environmental issues, easily speaking.
Cool. And then, like, I think important discussion to have, and a really cool open moment to discuss this within a group of people that love rivers and come together with a passion. No? I forgot that actually Jelena is with us as well. Jelena, can you also quickly say hi so we get a face?
Hello, I'm Jelena. Yeah, on the 8th we'll also have like I think 2 guests, and they have like very successful citizen science stories to share with us. So that's gonna be nice. And then we'll talk about some scientific methods, easy ones. Yeah.
Cool. Super cool. I'm excited about that one. On the 15th of September is then the last workshop that will be partly with Gael from NetGeo. She focuses on the South America region and has been working with a lot of storytellers, is a storyteller herself by now, and will be telling a bit about the power of storytelling. And afterwards we have then Roxanne Diaz, who's gonna do some hands-on work on actually getting a press release ready and thinking about, okay, what is the story that I want to tell and that I want to communicate with my Home River Bioblitz now. And then we'll also have a little more time to talk about social media, and yeah, we'll prepare a bit of a guideline or like some tips and tricks to make social media work for you. So that's on the 15th of September. Then obviously the Home River Bioblitz happening 3 days in a row. Note that it really is not necessary to do all those 3 days. No, like we've done it 3 days so that it's possible for school classes as well as for weekend warriors. Whoever wants to join, you can pick a day. You can also really make it 3 days and keep exploring, keep going to different places in the river. Again, up to you, up to whatever works best for you. Then the 3rd of October, it would be really cool to see many of you coming back for an online recap. We'll have some stories from the field, from people that have been out there. And it will be a great moment to share the experience and to have a bit of a chat together and look back at some of the results as well. So that is just a good celebration of the event that's been happening now. A little bridge towards Carlos, because from the first year on, we decided to use iNaturalist as an application to make this bioblitz happen. It's not purely necessary that you use this app, as in for us, it's mostly about you going to your home river, bringing a group, exploring biodiversity, being passing or like looking at details that you normally pass by, no? But iNaturalist is just a great way to do this, and it makes it easy for a citizen science, for a law lead person to actually dive in and to get some direct feedback, to get direct ideas of what it could be that you see. So it's a fun way to actually start being a scientist, and it really helps curiosity to grow during the day. I'm sure some of you have been using it already. Some of you might be really fond users of iNaturalist. Others might have never ever used it before. For both, I think it would work really well, and I'd like to head to Carlos to actually dive into this whole application and how we can prepare ourselves for the Home River Bioblitz.
Thank you, Vera. Thank you for your wonderful speech. And now you guys can see that the Home River Bioblitz, it's an open possibilities event. You might want to just invite your community, spend a great day, and actually getting to know your home river around you. But talking about taking action, you mean there's a few ways that you can do this, and documenting biodiversity is one of the most powerful actions that we can all take. And that's is because we now have tools like iNaturalist, which are related to citizen science. Citizen science is, of course, collaboration within the community and scientists across the planet. And technology has made possible for all of us to actually access this information and to make it publicly available. So this is why we encourage everyone to get an iNaturalist account and to participate and document the biodiversity around you. You don't need to be a professional biologist. You can become your own scientist within your community, and you can invite others to do so. I know that some of you are like really familiar with iNaturalist. I know that some of you have like experience but for the newcomers, I'm gonna start sharing my screen and talk a little bit about what iNaturalist is. iNaturalist is a social network that it's meant to connect or to reconnect people with nature. And of course, this is an online platform. It works both for the website, which is iNaturalist.org, or you can download and use the mobile app for any device, whether it's Android or iOS. This is completely free, so no one will charge you any kind of money for using this. The information that you upload or the information that is already there, it's also free to use. It's publicly available, and the good thing is that it can really empower people and communities about their local biodiversity, their local nature, and this is a great way to encourage conservation around us. So if you are new, or if you're going to lead an event in your community, it's really easy. You can just set up your own account. You can sign up. It's going to let you know that you need to use an email, whatever email you might be using. And you have to agree with some of these licenses and things that we do all the time in other social networks. Don't be confused. I'm here on iNaturalist.org, but if you happen to be in a country which has their own node, I mean, it's like 20 different countries right now. Like I'm living in Mexico and my site is naturalista.mx. This is the exact same community as iNaturalist.org. So don't get confused. We are still in the same community and we won't get lost. I'm just gonna log in right now. You can see that I'm always addicted to this, and I'm gonna log in. And I'm not going to walk through every single step of setting up an account, how to make observation. I'm going to focus in one of the most important parts for all of us to participate in the Home River Bioblitz. It has to do with creating a place and creating a project so our communities can upload observations into iNaturalist, and those observations will be put together in a project. I'm gonna search very quickly Home River Bioblitz 2022. And we're gonna see a couple of examples of what I'm talking about. This is a collection project. I already shared the previous years, the 2020 and 2021 projects, so you can see how many species were documented during those two past events. And you can see now, this is what we call a collection, an umbrella project, which means that we put together every single place on the planet. Right now, 2 projects has already been submitted. Right now, you can see that they don't have like 0 observations, species, or identifiers. And as we manage to collect all your projects, we are gonna put them all together in here. I'm gonna show you very quickly how your individual project will or should be looking like. Right now, it's gonna be set up for September 22 to September 25. Remember that you don't need to be out there the 3 days, the whole weekend. You can select 1 or 2 days or the 3 days as a whole. But you can see we'll be counting how much time it's left to start. And then this is very important. You have to pay attention about the project requirements. Set it up for all taxa. You're gonna set up a specific location where you are going to be collecting data or visiting with your community or your friends or your family. Right now, we can see that this project has 3 different sites. I'm gonna show you this in a detail. Then users, it can be any users from any project. The quality grade is set up to research grade and needs ID. You can also add here what we call casual observation, although it's up to you. I don't recommend it, but it's up to you. Media type, any, so you can add photographs or sounds. Remember, photographs or sounds are the evidence of any iNaturalist observations. Right now, it's not too much information for the server. And you can see here the date is set up as a range of days like 22, 24, and 25 of September. And that's it. Remember, the most important parts are location and the dates. You can see here the date, the location. This is a little map that you can see. These little polygons are drawn. If most of the time for our local rivers or home rivers or watersheds are not already existing in iNaturalist, sometimes the most common case is that we need to create those. This is sometimes kind of tricky if you're not related about maps. You will need to draw this kind of polygon on Google Earth. Of course, we can help you with that if you feel that's too much for you. We can help you draw these little polygons, and then we can help you out to upload this into iNaturalist. But in the end, we will need to have this kind of polygons to collect all the information from any river that you might be visiting. And this is how we can create a project. Then we're gonna put this together into this umbrella project, and then when the Bioblitz happens, it's gonna be easy for all of us because you don't need to send the observations to this project. The project will be collecting all the observations automatically. So let your community knows about this. Remember, if you are new to iNaturalist or your community is new to iNaturalist, we can help you out also by providing a separate training. You just need, oh, this is not what I needed. Hold on, let me find. This, okay. This is a short form that you can fill out if you want to request a particular detailed training for your community. These trainings are free. We just need to work out some times and dates if you need it. That form is in Spanish. Sorry about that. I'm gonna translate that just in case any of you is interested in having a more formal and detailed training for your community. Let's say that you're gonna go out with students or a family group or friends group and they don't know anything about, and you will feel more comfortable if you have this kind of trainings. You can request trainings filling out this form. I see that we have a question, Chair, should our polygon include the entire river system or just we're working or making observations? That's a great question. If you want to think about what works best for you, I will say the more the better, because in terms this polygon is going to stay on iNaturalist for a long time, probably forever. So if you draw a new polygon or a new place, for me, I think it will be better to have a whole system that encompasses or embraces a whole system, not just a piece of it, because in the long term, that place is going to gather observations, well, past and present and future observations. So if you're just working or you want to just stay to a very, very specific point or area, that's also fine. But again, think about whatever you do on iNaturalist could stay for a long time, and you can actually be creating a place that will be important in the long term to gather observations for many, many years to come. So I hope that was clear enough. And let me take a quick example on that. I'm gonna go to this explore page and share you how one of my local river looks like in here. I'm gonna share with you Rio La Silla, which is one of the areas that will be participating. This is how my river, my local river looks here. You can see, this is my city. This is where I live, but you can see here, this is as the river goes by, it catches through the city. This is like someone like not really objective. I mean, this is not like a starting point of the river, but this is how we decided to set it up. You can see here that the river actually reaches out a little bit about the street. This is because sometimes our GPS on the cell phone or cameras have a little messed up, and they move the observations from the river outside some things with not good accuracy. So you can see it collects different observations around here. Still, this place didn't exist, so we had to draw this, and we have done this in case you need to, again, just to remind you. So you can see all this. So this is all the observations that have been collecting through the years, and this is gonna stay for a long time, hopefully. And this is what your local river might look, okay? Is there, sorry, I'm trying to read some of the questions. Thank you for asking questions. Is there something we need to do in our site to make the project available on the Librella? Yes, Anna, that's a good question. If you already have your project, like some of the fellows already do, just share that on the WhatsApp group and we will put it directly into the umbrella project. So you can just do it. You can ask us to help you do it, or whatever works best for you. And we can just put it in the umbrella project so you don't have any problems. I hope that okay. Again, you can just, as Vera is pointed out in the chat, you can reach out on the WhatsApp group. You can send me a separate particular individual message, and whatever you have any questions, just let us know and we can help you out. Again, if you are having this new community to iNaturalist, or you have new users on iNaturally, let them know that this tool, they need to feel confidence. They don't need to have like expensive camera equipment, expensive cell phones. They don't need to be professional photographers. It's all about walking into nature and taking photographs. Again, they don't need to have like the perfect photograph, and I'm going to share a couple of images. I mean, these are some birds and organisms that I managed to photograph in the trip. It's taking too long, sorry about that. I mean, the bird is not like quite colorful, but this is still useful for identifications. Remember to let them know to take different photographs from the same organism. Like this butterfly, you can take this side of the butterfly. If it opened its wings, if they can add another photograph of another angle of these organisms. This works also for plants. If you are maybe looking at ferns on your river, remember to take a close-up on the fern leaves, maybe a whole photograph of the plant like this one. As you get more details on the photographs, you can get a better ID on these organisms. Remember that iNaturalist doesn't demand you to actually identify every single observation to species level. We will have a great community of identifiers that will help you out to get proper IDs. Also, we need to keep in mind that not all of the observations that we put on will be identified to species level because, to be honest, right now, at this point, not every single organism can be identified to species level using only photographs. But who never knows, in the future, technology might be advanced enough to actually identify anything. And just as another example, remember, you don't need to be a professional photographer. Sometimes you just get this opossum in the run in your backyard, and this is not a rat, this is a marsupial. This photo might works perfectly, and we can have like, okay, this is not the best photograph, but still is identifiable to species level. This is kind of the things that works out. Also, I want to mention about language. Let me see here. Right at the end, you're seeing now that the page is in English. No matter where you are in the world, probably there's a lot of languages that iNaturalist has been already translated into. I have to say that Aom from Thailand last year, she put herself to work on translating the whole platform to Thai language. So this is a good opportunity. If you don't see your local language or you want to translate to a different language that is not showing here, we can work it out that too, and it's not that hard to do. But again, you can select whatever language you feel comfortable to work with, and that will break the language barrier too. So let me see. Okay, Lisa, I'm trying to keep up with the questions here. Is it possible to search pre-existing polygons on iNaturalist? Yes, that's an excellent question also. Let me show you how to do that. There's the iNaturalist page. You can search for, let's say, Parque Cumbres Huichich National Park. And I'm gonna just hit enter. And you can see search result for taxa, user, project, places. So as you can see, we have different parks, national parks entries here. I'm gonna select this, and it's gonna take me to the place page. Let me show you another. When you have here more in this tab, you can select places. And there's another way besides this search bar here. You can find places here like bio. Let's see what comes out. So there's a lot of things that says bio here, bio river. Let me add for that. No. Let's say Rio Santa. You can search for different polygons, try different names. What I can tell you is that small areas or like particular river or watersheds, they are not most of the time already on iNaturalist. We have come to realize during these past events that most of our local rivers, they don't exist on iNaturalist. If you want us to help you to search, we can gladly just let us know. Let me help you with this. And you can see the place, well, once that you create it, it will stay there for the community for a long time. So I hope that helps. But yeah, it's really important that you look for the place. How are we doing on time? Región del Biobío, okay. Let me find this. Let me see if it works. Biobío places. Okay, region. Here, so here we go. Yeah, it's kind of, since I'm not familiar with the region, when you search your areas, it's more likely to find it or to look for specific words to actually find us as names. Okay, how are we doing on time? Let me know about that.
Quite good, I think. Depends on how much you feel you still need to talk. No, but you have some more time.
I don't want to burden you with all of this at one time. I just want to make clear that you're not alone here. It's really easy to actually create a project. I show you how to do it, but okay, here where it says community, there's this project section. You just go there and you can just start a new project in here. And you're gonna select collection projects. Once you get started in here, you will just say name. You can add a pretty icon, a pretty banner. You can select the different color. This is the aesthetic part. You can just add, here is my river, short description. Sorry about the typos. Make sure this is a collection project. Don't any taxa. Make sure you select the proper place or places. Remember that you can add different polygons. Mostly it's better when you just add one single polygon here. But this is one of the most important requirements for the project. Just add your own river. Don't check this one. Don't make any annotations. This is the research grade, needs ID. I won't use casual observation, just any media type, any type of establishment, whether it's nature or introduce, and the range of the dates here. This is important too. Remember to set it up from Friday to Sunday. And this is okay. Let's erase the time so we can just have the dates. And you just go here and done. I'm not going to save this, but this is just a quick steps on how to create your own project, okay?
Share is asking a question if it's possible to get screenshots of the pages.
Yes, I can later share this on the WhatsApp group if that works okay with you. Is that okay? Just quick screenshots or maybe a short PDF with all this put together so you can have this idea. I can do that. Okay.
That would be cool.
And I think that was like the most important parts. Again, it's not, iNaturalist is not hard to use whatever you are in as an experienced user or new user. Let me know if you have any other questions on this. Leonardo?
Hi again. Thank you very much for the information. I get lost somewhere in creating new places. I go to places and I can create a new one. So I don't know if I missed something or what, but show me again, please.
Oh yeah, for places. Okay, if you want to create a new place, you will need to have I think there are 30 verifiable observations. You should be able to see, again, we are here in places, and if you have the observations already in your account, you can just add new place. It will look like this. It will give you a warning. Don't be afraid of this. It just says that be conscious of what you are doing. You're creating a new place. This is an important feature of iNaturalist. Look for existing places, and if it's not there, you can create. Even if it's there, you can edit existing places to fit boundaries in a much suitable way. Okay, you just need to give the name, new river. This is also important. Where is it located? My new river is located in one state. So my river will be located geographically inside my state. It could also be just located in a municipality.
Sorry, Carlos, for interrupting you, but
Yeah.
I don't have any observation, and so I don't have the places button. Is that the reason?
Yes, now it makes sense to me. Yes,
Yeah,
since you don't have any observations, you will need to work a few observations. I think there's 30 observations you will need to have to create a place. But then again, if you don't have right now the time to do it, just reach out and I can help you out creating your own place. This used to be easier, but it looks like the iNaturalist staff made another log. So you need to draw this on Google Earth. And it's really easy to do it, but then you just need to download the polygon that you draw on Google Earth and then just upload it here. Then you just need to open space, what type place. This is kind of weird, but then you just check the list allowed and you just save the place. So the tricky part is actually drawing the polygon on Google Earth and downloading that KML file and then put it in here. But again, we can help you out with that. I don't know if you have any other questions, comments here. I understand. Okay. Yeah, and this is what you will see as observations. All observations start at what we call needs ID observations. You can see here, this is an observations that has like the evidence. You can see here that there are several photographs from the same organism. This is the same plant, just taken in different angles, different details. Like here we have the stem of the plant pointed out by these ugly fingers here, which are mine. And you have the flowers. So once that somebody will agree with this, it could become a research grade observation. So if you are missing the evidence, the date, or the location, this will become a casual observation. And that's another classification of observations. But they are still important, but most of the scientists will look for research grade observations, okay? Chair, that's another great question. You don't need to go to exact location. You can just step out into your garden, your park, and make observations. The observations that you need to do are just like general observations to show that you are a more experienced iNaturalist user before you can start creating places. So you don't need to go to that specific location. You just enjoy yourself, have fun, and make observations around you as you see any butterfly, wildflowers, whatever organisms you see. Okay, you don't need to go to the location. You just made observations, and then as you do them, you will be able to create places. Okay, any other question, comment about this? I mean, normally the trainings will take about 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, and I don't want to miss anything important, but there's always little details that comes out with people ask questions. So I don't know if you guys have any other questions about this?
This is the moment to ask the iNaturalist wizard. But not the only moment he's around. He's always available on WhatsApp, on whatever.
Yeah, things that commonly came across, you can see this dead raccoon, poor little guy here. You can actually upload dead animals, tracks, feathers, nests, scats, animal poops. You can also upload. Try to tell your community to avoid cultivated or captive plants and animals. Try to make them upload wild things. I mean, fungi, plants and animals that live actually on their own. Okay. Benjamín, puedes enviar el proyecto a, you can send the project to the WhatsApp group. We can include it, lo podemos incluir.
To share about the WhatsApp numbers, we have made a link that everybody can just join this WhatsApp group on their own, which makes, if I think of liability and stuff, it easier for us because people do that voluntarily. In that list, there should be everybody that already joined there, right? So we don't have a public list with all the numbers. I don't think it's even necessary, but if you're in that WhatsApp group, you can reach out to everyone that's in the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, if you're not in the WhatsApp group, do you have the link, the invite link? I don't have it right now, but again, just
yes, I'll get it. I'll get that in a bit, or maybe Jens has got it. Right. So I think this WhatsApp group actually is a pretty, let me get it, trying to combine things. It really shows a bit the magic of the Home River Bioblitz. On that day, on the 23rd, I'll be waking up to already the first people that have been going out in Indonesia and that have been sharing a few photos of them being out in the field. And that just continues then 24/7 for 24/3, I guess, for 60, 72 hours, I would say. No, even more because we're on the globe. And it's really cool to just see that happening now and see the sharing of the excitement of the love for the rivers. And I think it's an important message to give after, like, thanks a lot, Carlos, for all those details and for really the input on iNaturalist. Super much information. I can imagine for people it was, even though it was only half an hour, it was still a lot. But also it's been really clear, and I think it's been easy to follow for most people, at least to get a grasp of what needs to be done. So thanks a lot, Carlos. We have made a iNaturalist guideline also, where you could read back all those steps. I think that's been pretty clear. Everybody's received it in their emails, as well as a guideline on the safety, kind of some tips on organizing the BioBlitz. The program you've got in your emails, which again has all the sessions that we've planned for you. And there's a social media guideline, which brings me to Anya, because she's here and she wants to say a few words about what she actually has been doing and will be doing. Do you want to? Yeah, perfect.
Okay, I was mute. Hi everyone, it's a pleasure to me being here and being collaborating with the Home River Bioblitz. I did a Home River Bioblitz last year and I really enjoyed it. And now I'm here trying to collaborate in the social media. So the goal for social media is to stay connected with you and with your event and share it with others that are working with this event in each local river. So I want just to share some of the contacts. In Instagram, we are like Home River Bioblitz. And if you are sharing some photos or some calls for your local river event, you can tag us as well as to say that is organized by the River Collective as well. And if you will use some of the posters that are some of the ones of the presentation of the event, you can also put the poster that was made by Mauro, which is very beautiful art. And this is our social media page. We are really happy to see your photos, your calls, and also you can tag us in the stories so I can share it with the other audience. Also, you can do videos and I'll share it. So that's it. And I don't know if you have questions. I'll share this information, this specific information, the hashtags and the accounts in the WhatsApp as well.
Great. Thanks, Anya. And I think it's really cool that people now have a bit of a face behind this great work that you're doing. Again, to all, like, we're not super strict about this, right? So don't worry if you forgot to one-time tag or whatever, like there's no need to tag, but I think it's just a cool way to keep sharing the vibe and stuff. Reminds me of one thing actually that I haven't mentioned yet. You've seen the video before of the Home River Bioblitz 2021. We'll be doing a video again this year. And if there's somebody that would like to just share their story, please let us know and we'll give some instructions on how to get your video right. But even just shots of the river, some have had amazing drone shots. We've been really inspired by it. Like any shot of the river would be great if we could include them in the video, if you're happy to share them, as well as just simply photos. So we will be setting up a Google Drive again, where you can upload photos and videos if you like, so that we could share them to show that it's really a global event happening now. But I'll email you about that. So you'll receive another email. I hope all of you have been receiving the emails that I've been sending out. Hope that's been working. So that's cool. Hey, again, this is a citizen science event. No, citizen science events can be organized in very different ways. Some are really data driven, some are really competitive, some are really like, there's different motivations to do this. I think our main motivation is really to share this love for rivers. And if that for some really creates super useful data, amazing. If it's for some creates a super useful story, amazing. Like however it works for you, but I think the really connecting thing is this collaborative work for our rivers worldwide. I'd like to give a few words to Jens as well, our cosmic network.
Thank you very much. Well, I don't know if my internet is working really well. It's from the cell phone. Yeah, I just want to thank you all for being here. Just remind you that this feeling of course, we are a bit tired of Zoom meetings and stuff and seeing each other digital with pixels. But like we have always said, like that weekend when you are out there at your river exploring it, and at the same time getting like tons of pictures from other rivers and species around the world, you get a real feeling of this worldwide community that brings us together for rivers. And also the intersectional workshop is also to understand that this environmental justice is also social justice. So we are not only into rivers, but also in everything that comes along with rivers, communities, marginalized communities that live along the river. Also the same with social and class issues related to river protection. So everything is connected in a sense. So it's just a reminder that, and also the feeling of this worldwide community keeps growing, and also it's just amazing. So seeing faces from different countries, on the same planet is kind of crazy when you think we live on, and we breathe the same air. But it's kind of, and also we drink the same river water, which is recycled by the social ecosystem. So yeah, I just want to say that even if it feels awkward always being online and digital, I kind of feel connected to everybody working here and, well, giving it's all for the river. I think we all have here something in common, and that's all, besides being humans, or love for rivers. So yeah, just want to shout out that expression of love that makes this happening. More than any corpse, we just come out, we celebrate rivers all together. iNaturalist is just a tool for something greater here. So thank you, Carlos, Vera, all the organizing team, and everybody that comes together and takes part in this. This will be really exciting.
Hey,
New faces, new feelings.
Maybe as a last moment, for whomever wants, just to turn on the cameras for a little bit and take a group photo from everywhere in the world. When will be the last day to upload pictures to iNaturalist? That's a good, okay. In the meantime, we're turning on cameras. I think it's as simple as long as the observations are done at the moment within those 3 days. It doesn't really matter when you upload, even though it would be like we would motivate you to do it before this recap session. So we have some time. Actually, even Yelena, I know she's gone. The sooner the better, within a week would be nice, because then we can really include it in kind of getting an overview of what's been happening in the world. Yeah, again, not very strict, but try to do it within a week. Sweet. Then some big smiles, I guess, for the photo. Anya, you're doing actually a photo. I can also do a screenshot at the same time. Hello from all around the world. Taken. Yeah. Cool.
Hello from the Bio River.
Good luck with your preparations, especially have fun with your preparations, involve some friends, involve some people that you like. Think of potential side events. I know some movie nights are going to happen afterwards. Like, it's always a cool moment to make it even more of a fun day. I'm looking forward to seeing about your rivers through you, to learning about them, to learning about what lives there, seeing the places, and yeah, any questions, feel free to reach out constantly. And see you during the workshops. They're not obligatory, of course, but would be cool to see you there. Last question, Lisa, are you doing Home River Bioblitz now? You don't do this.
I don't know, but I'll be at the next workshop. Thank you so much. It's super, super interesting.
Cool.
It's really cool.
Thank you. Have a nice morning, evening, afternoon, night, wherever you are.
Thank you.
Ciao, ciao.
Adiós, amigos.
Ciao.
Hasta pronto.
Hee hee.